Greetings, this is Frosty Thundertrod, and today I am going to come back to Farming Simulator 22. Alright, so first off, let's check the market, see if there's anything on sale. Yeah, there's some stuff here, but it's nothing I can really use. Still only $19,000. Now, with this amount of money, I could buy a greenhouse and set up a small fruit growing operation, but that would only make me like a few $100s a month. I might come back and do that, but for now I need to go ahead and do some work for other farmers in the area, so let's check the local farmer list and see what's available. Field 13, that's actually right near here. Cultivating. I think I did pretty well on that last time. Field 23, I'm not sure where that's at. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this cultivating contract on Field 13. So I'll jump on the pickup and head over to the machine shop and pick up the equipment. Yeah, Field 13 is right over there. It's actually one of the fields I'm hoping to buy someday. Yeah, I have a hope and a dream. I want to be able to buy this field, that woods where I'm going to build my real home, and then that field over there. And then I would just use this as like the farm office space, and then I could have my home back in that wooded area. The steering get away from me here a little bit. Fortunately, nobody was around to see. Nice straightaway. I'll go ahead and give her the beans, open up the engine a little bit, give her an Italian tune-up. As long as Farmer Cop's not around, give me a speeding ticket, doing 75 on a country road. Wow, this thing has a high reverse clutch. Alright. Now let's have a look-see at this excavator. Wheels look good. Don't see any oils dripping out. No missing broken parts. Does not leak. Alright. Now for the tractor. Never driven. Oh, it's an articulated one. This is going to be interesting. Alright. Oil looks good. Tires look good. As usual, just checking. No missing or damaged parts. Does not leak. And I don't see anything. Oh, it's got a Cummins engine in it. Nice. Never heard of this company, but I know Cummins. Alright. Alright, let's head on to the job site. Driving a articulated vehicle just feels weird. You know, kind of feels like you're slipping sideways even though you're not. Kind of slow. Yeah, it's alright. I've never seen another car on this road anyway. It'll be a little busier here on the next road to come to. Although right now I'm wondering if I should buy equipment first or land first. Because, I mean, it's like there's no point in having equipment without land, and there's no point in having land if you don't have a way to work the land. So one way or the other, I'm going to have to buy one that's kind of useless. I'm sure if I bought like a small tractor, I could come up with some stuff here to do with it around here, around the trailer. If nothing else, I could mow my, like 1 acre land there. Alright. Pull over and let this car by. Careful, that's a deep ditch. Sorry there, mister, you're just gonna have to follow me along. I'll pull over on my land here and let traffic past. It's an AI thing in the game where AI traffic won't pass you while you're on the road. Alright, got a car coming this way, or 2 cars coming. Zoom. Zoom. There we go. Oh, damn, got another car coming. Alright. No. Careful now. Don't crowd me. I'm trying to get out of your way, but give me some room to work here. I'm not used to this thing. Alright, there you go, guys. Alright. Let's get across this bridge. across the bridge so I can pull off to the side and let them pass now. Alright. Let's get onto the field and... Yep. There you go, boys. You're clear. Alright. Let's unfold. There's... Yep, that's the switch. Let's unfold this thing. And then I think... Yes, this one over here lowers it. Alright. I think I'm going to start by just going around the perimeter of the field first. Careful. Alright, I'm good. I got a little close to that canal there, but I'm good. Let's raise this up. Back it up. Let's see. So I gotta point the butt this way. But this way, the plow goes the opposite way. There we go. Backing up, there we go. Spent enough time in my life backing up trailers in the docks, but these things just behave so differently than just a normal 53-foot trailer does. Alright. Alright. I wonder if this was like a trade canal or if it was, you know, or a straight up just irrigation canal. I'm guessing with the location it's more of an irrigation canal. Be a pretty handy bridge for me someday if I actually end up buying both of these. From what I've been told, the guys that own these two fields aren't really looking to sell them, but they are willing to sell them for a good price. So I guess it's going to be up to me to come up with a good price. This one here is the more expensive of the two. Check traffic, so I'm gonna pull out into the road here. Traffic looks okay. Alright. Raise it up. See if I can manage to turn everything all at once. Come on, there we go. Need to get you over a little bit. No, that's too far oversteering. Stop it. Calm down. Don't oversteer. Alright, got it straightened out. So let's back it up. Easy now. Alright, so... Nope. Other way. There we go. Yeah, it's embedded in my brain, you know. Turn the truck the opposite way if you way you want the trailer to turn. But here on an articulated vehicle, your truck, in this case tractor, turns both directions. So I have to think, you know, turn the back of the tractor the opposite way that you want the plow to go, or cultivator. I guess this thing has its uses, but I don't think I would buy one of these for my own use. Like I'd have a more conventional steering tractor. Although maybe if I worked this tractor all the time, it wouldn't seem so odd to me anymore. Oh, that's going to be convenient. Looks like the driveway's going to line up right where I need to pull through. I wonder if they did this intentionally or if it was just a happy coincidence. Alright. Okay. Now with the outer loop done, that should give me some more room to work so I can start doing a more conventional back and forth pattern. Alright. Okay, yeah, this is gonna work. Good, good, good. Get over here, don't leave a gap. I'd rather overlap a little bit than leave a section untilled to have to come back and retill. Good. All my life I always heard, invest in property, invest in property, invest in property. They're not making any more of it. And yeah, for most of my life I would say that's true. I mean, of course there's always, a few things, like the old, cut the way China will sometimes, cut the top off a mountain and dump it in the ocean. Um, Japan built their entire new Tokyo airport in what was ocean at the time, so I mean there is a little bit of new land, but now we're coming up onto. I'm probably a little bit too old at this point to participate in it, but we're looking at actually being able to colonize off of Earth now. Elon Musk is all gung-ho about, Mars, but really don't think colonizing Mars is going to be that good of an idea. Because even the most inhospitable places on Earth, Antarctica, are still more conducive to human life than the best. Oh, darn it! I left a strip. Let me go back and grab that. Are more conducive to human life than even the best parts of what Mars are. Not to mention that, but in theory, it would be possible to make the entire planet of Mars very inhabitable for humans, but it'd take a really, really long time, and it'd be kind of hard to do with humans actually on the planet. It'd be much easier to do with no humans on there. It's kind of like, big construction project. It's much easier to build a house, to remodel your house if you move out while the work is being done. I think a much better option overall would be just to build space habitats. For the same amount of material, you get way, way, way more habitable space. And like an O'Neill cylinder or something like that. Now the first ones would take a really long time to build, but once you actually got started building them, they'd become faster and faster and faster. Could see that come a time when there was actually, plentiful land for everybody again. Oh man, my lines look terrible. Well, the first step is you'd have to build like some sort of a harvesting drone to go out. It would have to be launched into space to go out and harvest resources from the asteroid belts, and then fabrication drones that can make more harvesting drones and more harvesting and more fabrication drones. And then, once I got to a certain number, the manufacturing drones can switch over from manufacturing more drones to actually start manufacturing the habitat. Which should actually be kind of a good thing, because I'm sure a lot of engineering progress will be made between the start of the program and the finish of it. So the more we're learning on lessons of building in space on the drones, the less problems there will be with the actual space habitats when it comes time to build them. So I really think that should, and we have everything we need technologically right now to do it. But the thing is that, it's an enormous cost, and it's something that the benefit of it probably would not happen, until basically I'm right at the end of my life. It's just going to be, a 20 or 30-year project. And at least in America, we don't do long-term projects very well like this because we change our government every 4 to 8 years, and each time a new president comes in, a new party takes over, priorities change. Which can be a good thing, because then we're not stuck doing the same stupid program over and over for decades. That was one of the reasons why the Soviet Union failed, is, they launched into a 5-year plan. It didn't work. Well, just do another 5-year plan. They didn't have the ability to adapt and change because they were never changing leadership. It was always the same people in charge. Sometimes, the premier would get replaced, but the Politburo was always the same people. But that can also be a strength. I mean, because you're going to do a project that's going to take a long time. Having the same people in charge for the entire duration of the project can be a huge boon. Which is kind of where the idea of the permanent government comes from. The people that are serving the agencies that are not really elected, but they stay no matter who wins or loses the election. Because the guy running for an election really doesn't know what the people that are in power know, and the people in power can't tell the ones that are running until they win. So it's useful to have a certain number of people who stay, in position, that can, do a transition from administration to administration. That has another problem of its own, where the people that do that begin to feel that they're the real government, and that the elected politicians are, just the face. They're, the transients. Generally, in human history, people don't treat other people that they see as temporary or transient very well. They don't respect them. I kind of wandered off topic there. But once you get a O'Neill cylinder built, just how many people are do you need per cylinder? It would be kind of an interesting thing, You have this O'Neill cylinder. It's got the interior surface area is equivalent to, let's say, an average county in the United States. You got 1,000 people living there. That's a lot of room for everybody to just wander around. And then there's going to be, at least at first, these O'Neill cylinders are going to need support from Earth. How are they going to pay for um, the supplies that they're going to need? Because until their internal ecosphere is, self-sustaining, they're going to need food, water. But after a certain point, they'll be able to grow their own food and set up a cycling system to cycle through their own water, so they won't need new water. They'll just keep, recycling their current water. That's how it works on Earth. I mean, yeah, we are picking up a little bit of water every year, just from hydrogen and oxygen floating around in space, and then also small little ice particles that get brought in by Earth's gravity well gets added to our atmosphere. But for the most part, Earth is very good at, cycling its own water. It's kind of really amazing if you think about it. Most things in this world, you consume an apple, you eat an apple, that's it, the apple is gone. You drink a glass of water, that glass of water isn't gone. Matter of fact, in a few days, it's going to be right back out into the ecosystem. That makes water the only, commodity in the world that is not destroyed by its consumption. It's an amazing thing to think about, really. So anyway, you're going to need farmers in these O'Neill cylinders to, raise crops, raise animals. Since there won't be good sources of artificial fertilizer, it's going to have to be permaculture farming. So, instead of, Purdue or something like that, you're going to need like homesteaders. To raise chickens and raise crops. Maybe once the O'Neill cylinders had a bit of time to mature, then you can get more like corporate farms or factory farming in. But in the beginning, I mean, you're going to need to be very frugal about converting, carbon to nitrogen, and keeping the carbon and nitrogen cycling through the soil and through the animals and through the plants. But since it's in a controlled environment, I mean, we can set it so that it's always 70 degrees, which I believe every crop that I know of will grow great in 70-degree weather every day. No, there would be I guess if everybody planted and harvested right about the same time, seasons would kind of appear, but in general there would not be any seasons. There are some places on Earth like that. I think there's a couple islands in the Caribbean that are that way. Because of the effect of the oceans and the winds coming in off the oceans, they're pretty much the same temperature year round. Of course, you'd be able to still communicate with Earth. I mean, there'd probably be, some sort of a communication lag, so you probably couldn't do real time, but as long as you're, only a few, millilight seconds away, and it can be kind of like the old days when talking on, shortwave or CB radio, where you would say something, then finish with an over, and then the person listening on the other side can respond. Or you can just text each other. Twitter is actually would be a great platform for that. Started flemming up there. But I don't really think it would be cost effective. I mean, there might be a bit of a niche market where people might be able to be willing to pay extravagant prices, for space produce. But for the most part, it just want to be cost effective to send agricultural products back to Earth, to pay for things to be sent out to the O'Neill cylinder. She'd almost need like 3 groups of people. You would need a group of farmers, a group of maintenance people to actually, work to maintain the equipment that runs the station. And then you would need like software engineers, artists, musicians who can create things, data that can be transmitted back to Earth. They write a song and then that can still be sold, via Spotify on Earth at virtually no cost, and then the money for that can be used to bring supplies out to the O'Neill cylinder. But that would have such an enormous taxation rate on it. In some ways, your artists would be working for the O'Neill cylinder, because there's so little relative stuff going to Earth. Almost all the value of everything that they produced, of their art, their data, would have to go to, buying supplies and transporting out new colonists. I mean, once you have like 1,000 distinct individuals, that would probably be a large enough gene pool. And there are some things that, O'Neill cylinder probably couldn't produce on its own. That might change over time where, the first one would have to be very self-sufficient, but, once you're getting, the 10th O'Neill cylinder, you might have an O'Neill cylinder that's, got a pharmaceutical industry on it, and you got one that's, an agricultural, and transferring materials between the O'Neill cylinders is actually relatively cheap. That can be done quite easily. And the same construction method I talked about, using to build the first one, gets faster and faster and faster each time, because there's more and more drones being built and more drones available. Better construction practices. We know what didn't work on the first, cylinder to improve the second cylinder. Back up, I missed a strip here. Alright, so got to go this way. Yes. Alright, straighten out. There we go. Now I could see in time where all these O'Neill cylinders, they become self-sufficient. They've paid back, the debts from their sponsors on Earth, where, you know, a couple dozen of them might, band together and form an independent nation, off Earth. The first non-planetary planetary nation in human history. Because it'd be so much easier to travel between, two O'Neill cylinders than it is to travel between Earth and an O'Neill cylinder. Unless major construction projects were done on Earth to create things, like an orbital ring. Isaac Arthur has an excellent podcast or VTube show on YouTube and a few other places. I think he's on Spotify and Odyssey, where he talks about amazing, huge, massive engineering projects, that are within our level of technology to do, but we're not in a phase of human history where we do massive projects anymore. If we wanted to build the Hoover Dam today, it just couldn't be done because of how, the systems have changed. Definitely never could have built the original Panama Canal today. Know how many people died building that canal? And because they didn't trust the locals, these were Americans that died down there. The bottom rung, the poorest of Americans, were put on ships and, hauled down to do manual labor, digging the Panama Canal. Hundreds of them died down there. Malaria, dysentery. And I can very well see, that as we start to move into space, it's only a matter of time. I mean, we've had people die on the way to space, and we've had people die on the way back from space. As far as I know, nobody's actually died in space yet. But it's only a matter of time. Actually making good progress now that I'm on these longer straightaways. The snow's kind of kicking up pretty good. Glad I'm over here on the eastern side of the state. We don't get the lake effect over here like we did when I was growing up over in West Michigan. It can happen rarely, but generally the wind blows out of the west, so that means that the west, northwest, or southwest, so that means, the wind picks up the moisture, coming across Lake Michigan, then dumps it on West Michigan and into Central Michigan. Although I have seen it go bad enough where it does go all the way across the state, usually it doesn't make it much further than like Kalamazoo or maybe Lansing, but usually doesn't make it all the way over here into the Bad Axe area or the Thumb. But if we get a wind out of the east, it can happen. Which, while the wind usually doesn't blow out of the east, it does every once in a while. I'm facing north now, so snow is definitely coming out of the west. So this is probably just, the system snow I would expect. Doesn't seem to really be sticking, so probably, just above or right around freezing temperature. I don't have a thermometer in here. I used to keep one in, I got one in the semi because it was important to know, if you were driving down the road and, it was supposedly wet, and then, you tip down to 30 degrees instead of being 33 degrees, then you might be looking at, black ice, and quite often that thermometer would give you a warning, before something bad happened that, we might be looking at black ice. So there are other telltale signs. I mean, like if the road looks wet but there's no spray, yeah, that's black ice. But, you don't always necessarily think to look for that. Come on. It slipped out of gear there. Good thing it's not my tractor. Now, if I was 20 or 30 years younger, if I was just coming of age, now I would very much look forward to, moving out to an O'Neill cylinder someday. But with the age I am now, even if I am still alive if we were to start building one now, I might still be alive when it finished, but I would be, geriatric. Alright, one last pass to finish this off. Yeah, I can get away with just, calling it done now and heading in, but I want to develop a reputation for doing good work out here. I don't want to be known as somebody who just does the least amount. And running a tractor is similar enough to driving a truck. I can kind of do this for cultivating. I could probably handle plowing too, but I might have somebody teach me how to run a combine or some of the other specialty farm equipment. I don't imagine it's that hard, but just someone can jump up in the cab with me for a couple hours and explain, what the controls do and what I'm looking at as I, go across the field would be immensely helpful. I'm sure in time I would, figure it out on my own, but the question is how much damage would I do to the combine and how much crop would I end up wasting in the process of doing it that way? Alright, this is done. Let's get all folded up. Oversteering this thing again. Alright. Traffic is clear, let's go. Hopefully it stays clear until I'm across the bridge. Got a car behind me. I'll pull off on my lot here and let him pass. Almost up to the crossroad. Oh, here comes a car. I'll pull over here. This crop's already been harvested, so I can get all the way off the road. Anything back there? Nope. Good. Alright. These telephone poles are kind of close together. Must be kind of soft soil here that they need to be this close together to support each other. Alright. There's hardly ever any traffic on this road. Alright. Oh, here comes a car. I'm gonna just jump right into the equipment dealer right here. Alright, park it here so they can take it in. Open up the app, let them know that job is done. Alright. That's a good bit of money. Still have a long ways to go, but you know, at least I'm making forward progress. Let's get home and get out of this snow. They didn't waste no time getting that pulled in, did they? Zoom. Alright. Alright. Traffic is clear. Well, I'm gonna head on in and get myself a nice hot cup of coffee and get ready. Gotta go over to get packed and head over to my parents' place for Christmas dinner. Thank you all very much for watching.